Hi. I'm shaking. Hold on. I am a minute or two late because I had to let the dogs out after the shower. So, hi everyone. I hope you're well. Happy 21st of May. So much going on. Let me just I see it looks like Echo is first love today. So hello, Echo. Karen Suki's in the house. Krumel, lovely to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing all right. I don't know what the hell's happening with the hair, though. Just got to say for a sec, something's going on. And did somebody say Mish is in the house? I didn't see Mish, but if you're here, hello, Mish. Welcome. And welcome to everybody. Thanks for the forbearance on Tuesday. I just stuff. So today's, and then, so I guess I should say, what time is it? 5:02. All right, let me get my back straightened up. Professor Con. Hello, welcome. I'm drinking iced tea. My ginseng, my diet green tea, ginseng, honey tea. They finally got it back in stock. It's Turkey Hill here in the U.S. And a whole lot of shaking going on. I know. I'm sorry about that. I'll try to stop now with the computer. It's on a raised platform. So the moment I start to do something or I hit the coffee table, everything vibrates. Starting next week, for about 30 days. I'm only going to go live on Tuesdays unless I am home on Thursday. But so what do I mean, pray tell? I think I shared that I'm going to be dog sitting for my brother, his 3 golden retrievers, while some things are going on in his neck of the woods. It's not near me. So the puppy's in a deliverance country. I don't think he has that, but we are in deliverance. Sorry, I saw that there was some interference. I hope I didn't lose you guys. I'm looking out the window. It's very cloudy. So hopefully we're not getting another storm. We've had some doozies. So I'm taking the boys. The boys and I are going up. I have somebody watching my girl Marley while I'm away. And I am there roughly, let's see, about 5 days a week. And then I come home for 2 days, but I'm leaving the dogs because they get car sick. It's not worth my aggravation getting there and back. So they'll be staying there when I'm not there, when I'm here. Oh God. So Tuesdays I'll be able to do my show. Thursdays I may be in transit. And after driving 4 hours one way, I will probably, well, we're gonna think happy thoughts, but those of you on the channel that know me know that I really don't like driving. So just keep sending me good love. Deliverance country. Oh, when you drive that road, Carmel, you're going to hear it for sure. And every time I go, that's the sound that comes out of my mouth. So it is a windy dirt road into the deep, dark woods. I am going to do I'm going to have my phone. I'll have my computer, but I'll take my phone and do one live there to show you how in the woods we are in the woods. And so it should be very entertaining, to say the least. And my brother has done some amazing rock wall designs. So you'll get to see what he's done. No skill, no trade skill to do this. It's a crapshoot, and gotta love YouTube. So he really is very talented. There's a reason I wanted to go to my phone. Why did I want to go to my phone? There's something I needed to look up. Let me see if. Oh, I remembered. Wow. Guys, I've been spending a lot of time out in the yard doing a lot of gardening. I will tell you that 90% of my planting is complete. No, I'd say 99%. I just have to plant sweet peppers, some catnip. What's the third? Cow pie peas. They're like green beans. They're a purple bean with peas. They're delicious, just scrumptious. Um, so I'm really, why catnip? Well, I have a cat, so the cat likes the catnip and cat grass. So I also plant cat grass. All right, this hair is really starting to annoy me. Hold on. So, and of course, the computer has me backwards. So hold on. I can't look at the screen. There we go. Nope, wrong way. Oh, for goodness sakes. This way. It's going this way, guys. I don't know what's going on. Ay, 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 ay. All right, we're leaving it alone. Yes, I have a cat. And yeah, Marley does not come out to socialize, Karen. Marley is afraid of the dogs. She was a rescue from Jamaica, and she was an outdoor cat, terrorized. She doesn't even poop in the litter box. She only poops, thankfully, now on a specific rug that I have. It's like a washable dog rug type thing, and she will bless me with her um, remains. So, but at least it's not, I used to call it the magical mystery poop tour because I never knew where it was going to be. Now I know where it is. Cow pea sounds wrong. I know. I have to look it up. It's it's cow something peas. I don't know. I'm tired, Carmel. I really am. So, anyway, long story short, I'm really going to be going live 1 day a week for the 30 days starting this coming Tuesday. And yes, my house will not be empty. We'll have a friend here. I'm not the most trusting human being, so I like to have my house at least looked like someone is here. And I'm not in the best neighborhood. So, I like people to know. And I have someone who's going to water all these beautiful plants that I've planted. So I'm very excited. Okay, now I just needed to go here. Hold on, let's get out of there. Okay. My parents were raised very poor. They used to collect cow pies to burn in the stove. I've heard of that actually. A little aromatic, but it burns. So I guess you got to do what you got to do. So, I'm talking about disconnected, and so many of us seek belonging, but it's being disconnected for me. Again, I need to say I am not a professional, nor do I play one on YouTube. This is experiential. It is my information. It's my research. You listen and take advice or information at your own risk. Do your research. And I really believe in that. I know I shared on my channel about seeds and how the world's seeds production is being usurped by the less than 1% gazillionaires, and it's going to kill us because they're altering the chemistry of the seeds. So anyway, this is my disconnection piece that triggered something for me. And what does disconnection mean? When we're afraid, People see the world in black and white. I don't want to see it in black and white. I want to see it in red. I want to be pissed off and I want to do something about it. Outrage keeps people engaged, in my experience. And so I want to talk a little bit about disconnection, what it means for me. And Carmel just fell into cow pies. That's really funny. I'm sorry, you made me laugh. So let's dive in a little bit. I have some notes to keep keep the ADD girl in me focused, but where did it go? So let me just scroll to the bottom and then scroll up. Here we go. Do, 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 do. Do not scroll too fast, Teresa. Okay. Disconnection is also about truth and avoiding truth. We split between who we are and who we pretend to be. I'm going to give you an example. So who we are, I am audacious, bodacious. I can be outrageous. And in certain situations, that is not who I appear to be. Sometimes that's because of a professional setting. So when you're in the business world or professional world, you put on a face and you may have manners, you may speak respectfully, you have guidelines. That may not be who you are, or it may be who you are. However, sometimes in family situations, you quiet who you really are because you're afraid of being rejected. You're afraid of being criticized. You're afraid of being picked on. You're afraid of being ostracized. You're afraid of being looked at funny. You're afraid of people talking behind your back. We fear rejection and we fear abandonment. And let me just change the we to me. I fear rejection and abandonment. And that used to be me. It's not anymore. And I will say, dying helped. When I had my massive heart event and I died, right? And I came back, there was this tolerance meter that just said, nope, don't care. Nope, don't care. Not worth it. Why am I getting all riled up? Because that person doesn't even mean anything to me and I'm letting their opinion disturb me. Recently, I've seen some channels, people we know, talking about people talking crap about them. Now, my first response, and this is only my response, would be, screw them. They're talking crap about you. That says who they are. It doesn't say who you are. Right? If you're saying something about me and you're not saying it to my face, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with you, your insecurities, your inferiority, your low self-esteem. It has nothing to do with me. If I hurt you, if I said something that offended you, you're a grown-ass adult now. You reach out to me in some capacity, right? And you say, hey, do you have 5 minutes? I just want to have a conversation. You said something yesterday I think I misinterpreted or hurt my feelings or caused me angst. And I don't, it's bothering me. Can we just talk about it? Odds are I may have said something and it was flippant and I didn't mean it to be. And I would never intentionally hurt somebody. But I don't know that I did that if someone doesn't say, hey, by the way, when you call Joe Schmo a D-bag, I find that offensive. I won't know when I call Joe Schmo, whatever, a D-bag, that it's offensive unless someone tells me. It doesn't mean I'll change either. I may say, I'm sorry you're offended by that. And I will try to be aware of it because I don't want to be vulgar. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be angry. I follow as well as I can Don Miguel Ruiz, 4 agreements, use your words wisely, right? You want to use and say what you really mean. And we carry shame. Again, I'm going to get back from the we. I carry shame around certain parts of myself. I'm not proud of some of the things that I've done in my life, what I've said, who I am, or who I was. I'm also not going to live in it anymore. But it disconnects you from the person or people that you feel like you may have done something to. Being disconnected also means sometimes I don't feel fully seen, or I don't feel safe being fully seen. Does that make sense? I'm not even reading the comments. We have the luck. We have a storage in the mountains in Scandinavia with all the original seeds of plants. Oh, Cromel, God bless you, man. I'm working on that now for my vegetables. I have heard of that place, Amazing and Wonderful. Yes. Cromel, have you ever seen the old sci-fi movie Silent Running with Bruce Dern? I feel like I have, Karen. That is a weird thing to say, dying helped, but I get what you mean. It did, right? It like shuts off the bullshit meter, Cromel. And I've had to learn. So that happened in 2019. It's taken me this long, to really find value that, well, okay, if you don't like me, then move on. Move on. I'm not forcing you to be my friend or to watch me on YouTube or to like me in a certain situation. Odds are, if you're in a gathering, you're not nailed to me. We're not tied together. You could say hello and be respectful and go on to talk to other people. It's my bullshit meter is really on the low end, and I had a threshold of being able to take a lot of crap. I mean, if this is the line right here, all the way at the end of this line was my bullshit meter or my crap, or before I snapped. Now it's all the way down here. I'll take so much. I also can acknowledge or recognize I have some friends in my life, they're not feeling well. Their crankiness is related to not feeling well. It has nothing to do with me. And I'm like, okay, if you need to yell at someone right now, go ahead, bring it on. You want to be snarky? Bring it on. That usually makes somebody laugh. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at how I feel. For years when I wasn't well and I didn't feel good and I had a lot of female problems, I was a nightmare. I was crying all the time. I was so sick. And I just wanted someone to hear me. And after a while, people get tired of that bullshit. So you have to know your audience, and you have to be able to, shift and rebuild your inner safety. And for me, it's through grounding. It's through breathing. It's also letting go of your old ways. And I've talked about this with my brother as well. When we get together, sometimes we revert back to the children that we were. I don't know if anybody else, whether it's an old school friend, somebody that's been in your life for 500 years. And then you resort back to your old ways. You have to, or I have to let that go. So I would ask, oh, wait, the chat's going a little bit bananas. Hold on. Let me see what you're all saying. Soylent Green with Charleston Heston. I have not seen that. Okay. I'm not saying disconnected. I'm calling it stranded. Okay. And I get that. Being stranded or being on a deserted island, which is stranded. I get that. Your BS meter is so low that I'm saying goodbye now. Okay. Karen says, yes, I was cranky the last year my mom was alive, and I feel horrible about it. But the fibromyalgia and the chronic fatigue was progressing fast, and I was still having to work full time. Yeah, I get it. I have apologized to her now that she is on the other side, hoping she understands. 100% she understands. I don't even need to blow smoke up your skirt, girl. Your mother on the other side has no ill will or ill feelings. She has nothing but love, sister girl. Um, I feel that very strongly. I don't think that we pass on and we're like, you should have been good to me when I was alive. I don't think my mother's doing that. I don't think your mother's doing that. I think your mother knew. I think mothers especially have compassion. I think friends have compassion. So yeah, I get it. And avoiding the truth sometimes means avoiding responsibility. So if I don't have to face whatever the truth is, then I don't have to do anything about it. That goes for being ill, that goes for having pain, that goes from not obeying the diet that I'm supposed to be on, not sleeping, not, doing all the things. If we're not going to be authentic to ourselves, to myself, it's only on me. And sometimes I don't want people to see the truth. Avoiding responsibility means I'm sort of forfeiting any responsibility, which is not really true, but it appears that way to you, to me. And I get stagnant and I get, helpless, and we self-sabotage. I hear it, I see it, I feel it, I smell it, I know it. The disconnected part also is I feel otherworldly. I feel alien. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. I don't really feel like I fit in. I never have. But there are days where that reality, and I'm walking around, I'm like, I don't belong here. It's like, Calgon, take me away. I don't belong here. And I think, for me, sometimes responsibility feels so heavy when we're already exhausted, when we're already tired. For those that are still working or have familial commitments, have to take care of other people. When my mom was ill and I was taking care of her, I was hugely energized. I was like, I had to do this, that, and the other thing. It was the opposite for me. When I no longer had that, the exhaustion overwhelmed me. Even today, my exhaustion level mainly, and I don't want it to sound preachy. I'm just going to say it's about what I eat. It's about the exercise. And in order for me to have that energy, I actually have to push through the exhaustion. But sometimes I fear the consequences of being truthful. Being called out on your crap, sometimes it hurts. But the person that's calling you out isn't trying to hurt you. They're just shining the mirror at you, on you. Thank you, Carmel. That means so much. It really does. I think we learned early. I learned early. My voice didn't really matter. And, I can picture it. I can picture everybody sitting at the kitchen table. Oh, here comes the drama queen. And they used to call me Tallulah Bankhead. She was a very famous actress back in the old days. And, or Sarah Bernhardt. And they'd be like, oh, here she comes. It was because I was so emotional and so sensitive. I felt everything. So my voice became smaller and smaller. Now, I will say the tone became louder. I wanted to be heard. So my voice volume, loud. And I know now, pick me, see me, love me, know me. I'm here. I kind of picture Tom Hanks on that deserted island. I'm here. I'm here. you know? And I think that that's my child voice. No one intentionally was trying to shut me down, I don't believe, but they made fun a lot. And if you're as sensitive and you don't have weren't instilled with the sense of confidence in yourself, I took that on personally. And I had to find other ways to be seen and heard. So how do we shift it? Great, we're disconnected. What do we do? Well, one of the things I'm trying to do, and maybe this is blowing smoke up my own skirt, is to reframe what I want to liberate, right? I'm disconnected because I'm embarrassed about how I look, how I feel, my size. That's on me. Nobody's saying, oh, fat girl, we don't want to talk to her, right? But I don't feel good in my skin. The liberation has to come from I acknowledge I am who I am. What are you going to do about it if you don't like it? Well, people, I've been exercising. I know I have to push it more, but I've been exercising. I've missed a lot of Echo's Living My Best Life. She does the exercises Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I've missed it because I've been out in the garden. So I'm actually doing exercise as well, but I'm doing other exercises, working on my arms, working on my abs, working, my legs, etc. And I'm trying to eat better. Now, I will say I'm trying. I have not been successful because when I'm in the zone and I'm in the garden, I mean, even today it's 5:30 Eastern time. I had breakfast at, I'll say 8:30. I have not eaten a thing since. That is not healthy. I should have had a lunch. Granted, I thought I was going to dinner tonight with a friend and that got changed. So I was hoping to eat a little extra for dinner. But I'm taking myself out to lunch tomorrow. And I'm taking myself to lunch on Saturday because Saturday's my birthday. And I am celebrating me on Saturday because all my plans got all fucked and the caboodled. So my puppies and I'm going to take myself to lunch. I'm going to take the boys with me. We're going to go for a walk around the local park river and hopefully get everything settled in my house before I have to leave next Wednesday. So thank you, Echo. Yes, I'm 63 on Saturday. So it's I'm using that as a rebirth, a rejuvenation, reinvigoration. It will be a healthy lunch. It's my favorite sushi, so yay. And I'm celebrating me. I also know that when I get back from this journey to help my brother and his friend, I'm going to see my girlfriends and we'll all get together and we will celebrate. So yay me, I get to extend celebration. Birthdays used to be huge for me. And, two of the key people, my mom and dad aren't here anymore. My brothers, it's not like I don't need anything. I'm a be with you person. That's the gift for me. Unless you want to buy me tons of plants to put in my garden, and let me just be honest, there's no room in the garden. I will do, it's almost finished. When it's finished, I will do a little video tour for sure. Maybe that'll be one of those Thursdays I squeeze in there. Oh, thank you. I am a spring chicken. Thank you. I always wondered why I was living with my family from 5 years old. Who were these people? I was thinking, well, isn't that funny you say it? I really did feel like an alien. I'm like, who I don't fit in this family. I don't even see the same things that they see. I don't believe the same things they believe. And the one thing that I really want to work on, and I've really worked hard on it, and I don't feel like I am this way anymore, but it's interrupting that, oh, poor pitiful me, helplessness story. That's not my story. I am a badass. I have overcome so many different things. I don't want to be like, oh, please, somebody help me. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some man chores or maybe strong woman chores that I can't do. I'm struggling right now. I'm going to have to ask my neighbor, um, outside the spigot that you attach the hose to. It's too tight. I have to unscrew it and put a new unit on. I've used every tool I have in my little toolbox and it's not opening. So, but that's not being helpless, right? It's being resourceful. I've got to ask for help instead of putting myself down that I can't do something. Asking for help is connecting. I'm disconnecting from people, and that's not what I want to do. I just wanted to stop the bullshit meter. And it was always going this way and this way and this way and this way. Yeah, Echo, you grew up feeling that way too. You didn't fit in with your family. And I am of the belief, now this is woo woo hippy dippy. If Jimena is going to ever watch this, she knows the phrase. I believe that before I came to this earth, I chose to be in this body. I chose to be this person. I chose to live with my parents. Um, and I did that because there were lessons to learn, or there were lessons that others needed to learn, and I would be the person that they got to learn them from. I think I've shared before on this channel that I grew up, we didn't say I love you. When I went to college, it was the first time I ever was away from home, and I needed to hear people loved me. So every phone call conversation, I'd be like, I love you, mom, me too. And I'd be like, no, 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 I want to hear I love you, Teresa. And I taught my parents how to say I love you. I taught my nana how to say I love you. I taught my brothers how to say I love you, because we didn't grow up with that. And then when I said goodbye to aunts and uncles, on the phone mainly, I'd be like, I love you. And they'd be like, oh, that's so nice. Like, it wasn't reciprocal because it was not something they ever said. Yeah, I think we're a lot of us are black sheep. And I don't know if I don't want to take that as a negative, Karen, right? I think we march to the beat of our own drummer. It's our own tune, and people are either going to come with us and join our band or not. They're going to connect to us or not. And along with that, we're going to connect with them or not. We may not want to connect with them anymore because there's no value in it. And I think if we remain connected in some situations and it hurts and it bruises us, we have to acknowledge, all right, well, I don't want them out of my life. Either I'm going to take the bruise or I'm going to say, stop, because this is my stop signal. Even in my head, it's like, stop. And either I have to back away or I have to say, you're hurting me. What you said hurt my feelings. It's not funny anymore. And I think your next step then becomes however they respond to you. Again, this is my new experience that I'm putting, in place to stop feeling so disconnected. If you think about one small truth that's aligned with an action that you can take today. For me, when I'm at the dog park, someone was criticizing my puppy, that my puppy, Biscotti, was aggressive to her big ass golden retriever. Now, it's a puppy golden retriever, and the dog was a little rambunctious, and Biscotti got on his hind legs, put his two paws up on this dog, and snipped at him. He didn't bite him. She's like, your dog bit my dog. My dog did not bite your fucking dog. But, right, I stepped back and I said, well, I'm sorry if Biscotti scared your dog, my little dog, your big dog. And I walked away, and we did not, I was on the other side of the fence. Mind you, she's walking around the whole park with her phone like this. Didn't pick up the dog's poop. Wasn't paying attention to her dog. So she never even the time before noticed that her dog was my puppy's face. And I thought, okay, what can I do today that aligns with how I want to be? That she's never anybody would connect with anyway, so there's no harm there. I decided that since I can't, all of us are going to protect our dogs. So I just, who's your daddy? Ben. You ain't my daddy, Ben, but you're welcome to be here. Okay, hold on. I didn't think I chose some power placed me there. Until this day, I am 68. My mother is 95. She never said, I love you. You learn to live with it. Absolutely. I get that. And not everybody can say it. I had to ask people to tell me they loved me. Now, you run the risk of them not loving you. So that's the other thing. Not everybody, we may ask someone to say, well, I want you to say it back. I want to know that you love me. You run the risk of someone not loving you. That's going to hurt. But it also then allows you to know and put that in perspective. I avoid truth sometimes because our choices become reactive. And I don't want to be so snarky and hurt. That is me. To many, that can feel like nausea. Mr. Bits, I felt you coming. Oh, Lordy. I keep waiting in the background for Richard, who might be driving or working. But, my fear hijacks clarity sometimes. And the fear is, we've talked about it. It can be rejection. It can be confrontation, any of those things. And it can, block me from doing what I feel is supposed to be the right thing and to be true to myself. I think I was conditioned to seek validation. Good girl. You're a good girl. You know what? I'm not seeking validation anymore. Your version of a good girl may not be my version of a good girl. Does that make me any less valid? I think that the world is noisy and overstimulated. And I need to learn to pause. And I got this again from Don Miguel Ruiz. Think before you speak or you act or you respond, whatever the adjective, before you do anything. Does what I'm about to say expand me or contract me? Right? Think of a rubber band. Do I get to fill and be more, or am I going to come in less? And it's finding a way to limit everybody's noise. And I do that by not accepting a lot of invitations. I don't know if that's disconnection, but it's definitely limiting the noise of me having to choose being authentically me or having to be somebody else. And it's not me, and it's not a facade I want to keep up. Are my values going to be my compass? Are they going to point me to my true north? When we break down trust, when truth disappears, people stop speaking honestly. Conflicts go underground and we don't talk about it and we hide it. Gossip replaces communication. Fear replaces connection. That's what we've been talking about, right? Some of these other channel creators, they've got people are talking smack. I'm not aware of it, so I have to claim innocence here. I'm using what I've heard from these other creators. And what I would impart is let them go. Because in the long run, those other negative voices have no value to you. They do not make you bigger. And if someone's not bringing you love bombing and joy and fair critique or advice based on your relationship, change the channel. Let them talk smack because it's about them and not about you. What's about you is how you respond, and other people will see that, and they'll either stay or go. And I think communities fear conflict, right? So we are a community. YouTube creators have created communities, and sometimes there's conflict. But again, and I will repeat this until my last breath, if you've got a problem with something that I have said or something I have done and you don't tell me, it's not my problem. It has nothing to do with me. So if you want to talk smack, like if someone was saying something about Ben to me, I'll use Ben. They're like, oh, that Ben, blah, 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 blah. I'd be like, oh, did you talk to Ben? Well, no. Well, I don't want to hear it. You're talking behind Ben's back. Go and tell Ben. So that's how I feel. I'm going to tell you if you've done something that has somehow impacted me negatively. And I'm feeling some kind of something about it. If the gossip wheel is just, oh my God, did you hear what Ben said? And did you know? And da 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 da. Oh, that's so not me anymore. Change that channel. I'm out of there. And I've tapped out of some people's channels because of that. When I'm witnessing people talking smack, even if they might be right about that person, I know for a fact you're not talking to that person. You're just talking about them. I don't have patience for that. And maybe that's what I meant when I said, Carmel, dying changed my bullshit meter. That's just, now you're in a community for my judgment, the wrong reason. I'm just going through the chat a little bit. They stopped asking me questions because they know they don't like the answer. Yep. More detachment, no detachment, just reality. Once trust is gone, Ben, people tend to work within the system to burn it down. Okay, I'm going to tell you to work those dogs. Leave my puppies out of the conversation. Not everyone deserves to be at our table. 100% echo. And I think I even talked about this last time. I have a round table and my tribe. And who am I inviting around that table is smaller and smaller. Not everybody gets the honor of being at that table. I think we've talked about it before. I'm going to do this again because I always love the answers that people come up with. But if you can invite someone who has died, famous or not, intellectual or not, whatever to sit at your table and ask questions of, who would it be? And we'll do that another time, not here. But, my tribe, and I talked about this with my therapist when I was going through some really hard stuff and I was really feeling alone and abandoned. And I'm like, how am I abandoned? I get to choose who's in my life. And if they're not in my life, then that's telling me something. you know? And maybe someone doesn't feel safe in my space. Maybe I didn't make someone feel safe, right? And also sometimes the power dynamics, you know, I will say that there was a time being the eldest, I got something out of being in charge. I got something out of knowing information or thinking I knew the answer. I mean, you know, 50 years later, I know I don't know anything and I didn't know anything then, but you pretend you do. That doesn't always win friends and influence people because I came across a certain way. And that was my need to be heard and seen, but the other people didn't know that was what I was trying to do. And I think sometimes politeness is valued more than honesty, right? The polite thing. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, sure, I'll come. No, I don't want to freaking come. There's another way of saying it, right? You don't have so it's building for yourself what feels safe and comfortable and working within that. And if sometimes you have to bend a little bit, then you bend. Um, yeah, that tends to feed dopamine, and once it starts, it keeps feeding the beast. Yep, which is why people who gossip tend to grow, and you rarely see people stop. Interesting, Ben. So that's something that is um I know that Carmel's saying it's scientific, and I do kind of feel like it's scientific. It's sort of a Chase Hughes thing. And I believe that. And I think that's why I step away from watching people or, that's why I always start. I'm not an expert. I'm not going to sit here on this channel and tell you I got the answers and I know how to solve things. I'm constantly working through it. I'm trying to maneuver through the bend in the river. And sometimes you have to go over a bridge. Sometimes you have to go, with the flow. Everything's, we all have to be at least aware of how we're responding. And disconnection silences my truth. I don't want to put it out into the universe saying it's your truth. It's my truth. Sometimes when my feelings get hurt, I disconnect back and I'm like, nope, I'm not going there, but my feelings are hurt. Well, why? People have said to me in the past, bullying, well, it's just how that person is. I don't accept that. I don't accept it anymore. And I did. Some people will say, like when I was working, and I couldn't get ahead in a certain department. Well, that's how things work. Again, that's not how things should work, right? Silence becomes complicity. And I was a big mouth. I'm going to be honest. I was a big mouth. I didn't always know how to say things, but I was like, well, I'm sorry. If that's just how you are being a bully, excuse me, then, I would be like, I'd flip them off. And I would embarrassingly shame them. I don't do that anymore. But if you were going to be a bully to me, I was going to rip you apart with words. And I would insult you and go for the jugular. What did that do? That humiliated someone. So that didn't change that person's behavior. I emasculated that person, which maybe for 5 seconds made me feel good, but made me feel bad afterwards. And again, only heightened that person's level of being a bully. Instead of saying or responding in a different way, like, I get that you must feel like you are not in control. And so I wish you well. Take care, and not engage. When I don't fight with my neighbor who lives to push my buttons, it deflates and changes the dynamic of our relationship, of our interaction. And I know it infuriates this person, but I don't care. I'm not playing that game. And he is a bully. And but it's also teaching him he can't do that to me. He might be doing it to other people, but I can't change how they respond. I can only change how I respond. And I would say maybe that demonstration of how I respond might be a beacon of light to somebody else to say, well, she's not putting up with it. I don't have to put up with it. And when I was in my job, I caused a lot of ruckus when that was how things worked and only certain people were getting promoted. Now, I had no problem not being promoted if I wasn't qualified. I get it. But there were people that were less qualified because they played a certain game and I wouldn't play it. I still, I did very well in my life and in my career. So I'm not there. I found ways around it, but I also grew up with all boys. I saw how things worked. I saw how guys communicated in all sorts of environment that helped me sort of stand up to all of the male managers in my life. Let me see. Dun, 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 dun. Echo says, I stopped seeking approval from other people and started loving myself. Amen, sister. Ben says, it gets hard once it stops, which is why we need to vary our dopamine sources. I'd like to have a conversation with you about that, Ben. Starts, not stops. Words are hard. Yes. Karen says, I agree, Teresa. That's just how they are, or that's just me. No, you are using it as an excuse to be a bully and get away with it. Yeah. And it's not easy to stand up to bullies. I'm the one who I think of the retort hours afterwards. I'm like, I should have said blah, 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 blah. I'm not quick-witted that way or silver-tongued. But what I will do is revert to my little girl self and fight with bad words. And bad words don't have to be curse words. They're mean. And that was the only way that I could sort of defend myself. I don't want to be that. And so I'm not. But I am prepared. Every time I see this person, I put my armor on. And my armor becomes, what will you take and what won't you take? And I'm prepared when I see this person. That's it. Not our Teresa. Flip people off. Oh, yeah, New York. I guess I could have seen that. Oh, Ben. Yeah. Carmel says, that's why I only worked jobs that I liked. When I didn't like it anymore, I quit and found something else to do. I had a lot of different jobs due to that. And I think that you must have had a skill set that allowed you to get those jobs. I will say, at least here in America, and I don't know what it was like where you were working, because you worked all over the world. So, but for me, I hung on until I got another job before I quit, because it's very difficult if you quit and say, you know what, I'm not taking that crap anymore. You needed references in the old days. Today, some of the companies don't even take references because half of them are made up. And there's new laws in the United States. You can't even ask a company what salary that person was making. You might be able to give them a range, but you can't tell them what the person was making. And you can't tell them why they're not working for your company anymore. You can't say they were fired. You can't say that, they were disciplined or anything. But I was always afraid. I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. Yeah, Ben, I'm struggling with that. Um, I don't have that problem anymore, Ben. I'm retired. Yeah, that's a beauty. I am almost ready to retire. New Yorkers don't cuss. Wait, what? Oh, I cuss. I cuss, brother. I just now I have two puppies that are like, "Mama." Um, Sometimes you have to fake it to make it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't want this to be sort of a negative Nelly conversation. It's just an awareness, right? Um, Communities, when we lose courage because we don't intervene or we don't step up and say, like, if somebody's in this chat, and it's never happened to me, thank goodness. If somebody was being a potty mouth or negative or whatever, the whole chat, in theory, should be rallying. Hey, we don't allow that here. This is about love and light, and we're having a good kind of. I have cussing puppies. Well, they're worried about mommy cussing. But it's like we need to support each other. Our creator, our YouTuber who's out there face to face on camera or not, and say, no, 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 we don't welcome that here. And if I'm on another channel and someone's dissing a friend of mine, and I haven't seen it, but if that happened, I would absolutely say something and I wouldn't go back to their channel. And I might even unsubscribe. So, and that's one person, and that's okay. But I would like to hope if I said, hey, that's not appropriate conversation. You got a problem with, Tallulah Bankhead, go speak to Tallulah before you start spouting crap on your channel about somebody. Again, it's all about the difference of what you're trying to achieve in your community. My community better be about love and light because I don't have the patience for sort of that negative downer kind of thing. So it starts with small acts. That's how change happens, right? Small acts. Breathing before you approach something that you know is going to be difficult. Even if you're going to a party, you know that certain family members are going to be there. You know that they like to push your buttons. In your mind, be prepared. The small act. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to wave, say, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to, see you later. Not going to get involved. I'm not going to let that person suck me down. There are a lot of people that love to talk politics. Look, I have my feelings and I have my beliefs. I'm not articulate or respond quickly with information to retort or respond to somebody's opinion. So I walk away. I'm like, oh, I'll do research. I'll get back to you because I know what I believe. And sometimes people say things, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. Teresa, what are you thinking? But I don't want to be manipulated anymore. So I walk away. Right? Courage is a skill. So do one small thing that's courageous. And sometimes being courageous is walking away. Sometimes it's standing up to the bully. And, there are retorts. Maybe we'll do a bully session. Anybody interested in wanting to talk about bullies? I'm happy. Coffee. I know. Did I say coffee? Oh my God. Did I say coffee, Ben? Oh, John's here. No politics, no religion. It sucks all my energy and it just isn't worth it. Again, absolutely. It's if you're going to, like, I'm going to go have coffee, or I have a friend that I talk politics with. We know, and we're mainly on the same side of certain topics, not all topics. But we also have a back off, like, okay, we're done. Let's move on. Because sometimes we can get so riled. I can get riled and I feel helpless. And then I have to say, wait, I'm not helpless. I get to vote. Well, I might get to vote. I don't know. I'm a woman with cats and I have no children, so I don't know if I get to vote. But sorry, little dig. But how can I influence? Start local. What's important to me in my community? What can I affect? How can I affect? In my state, what can I affect? That's my small courage. If someone asks my opinion, I want to be well informed. I'm not going to speak unless I'm well informed, right? Celebrate truth telling. There's a person at the park that I like a lot, and this person likes somebody else I do not like. And I was truthful, and I said, you know what? You guys hang out. And later he asked me why, and I said, I don't like that person. He's like, yeah, I just put up with blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's okay, but I don't like that person. That person's negative, condescending, and I don't like how I feel in that person's presence. I remove myself from the situation. It has nothing to do with me, so I'm backing away. And I think, when we think about the impact on government and society, right? People become vulnerable to manipulation. We see this in cults. We see this in crowdsourcing. We see this in YouTube communities. We all get riled up or invested in something. And sometimes the truth of it becomes blurred. So I think it's sometimes familiarity feels safer, right? And it's safer to go with the flow of the crowd rather than peeling off going, yeah, this doesn't feel good to me. Now, there is no judgment. If you're part of that community and you are full in and you are all good with what's happening, 2 thumbs up. That's the beauty of us being able to say that resonates with me, that doesn't resonate with me. Maybe the topic that day doesn't resonate with me, but I love the channel. So, and there are definitely, Ben's the one who introduced me to Chase Hughes, and I love most everything Chase Hughes puts out. Recently, there was something that was on, I forget what it was. I was like, no, not for me. It's not a bad thing, right? People want simple answers. I don't want it to be complicated. And if I feel like it's above my head or I'm underwater on a topic, I step away. I will do research if it's important to me, and I will come back. But I like to verify before I share. I like to do my research before I share, because even if you wanted to be an influencer, it's like you're going to be an influencer for a hand cream. Well, I can be an influencer. What about it is worth talking about? I don't want to do it I'm not in it for just clicks. There is no judgment on someone out there doing their thing. I'm not even opposed to people doing their fans only page. I don't get it. But, you do you. As long as you feel it's authentic to you, knock yourself out. People feel powerless, right? When truth isn't demanded. Leaders, creators, whomever, stop offering it, and they just go on their merry way. Corruption grows very quietly, and that's even in our communities. I also believe policies are shaped by fear. And if you get people on the fear bandwagon, you miss what's true. And that's why we have to question. But that's also another topic for another day. But, I wanted to just sort of, when we want to be part of a community, we want to stop disconnecting. me, Teresa, I have to step out of my house. I have to go across the street into the library, to go to the local political office. I have to vote. I have to attend the meetings if I want something to change. I think I've shared with you in 3 mile radius, I have we're up to 37 sex offenders. Most of them are pedophiles, few domestic violence cases, so it's not at me, but we have sex offenders. They're all around me. Plus, it's like the drug hub. So if I don't like something, I have to go and say something. I do that by voting and I do that by attending meetings. I also do that by telling the truth. I don't feel safe in this community. I don't know if I want to stay in this community. They want you to stay in the community, but I'm not letting them blow smoke up my skirt anymore. So disconnection has been, well, I'm just going to stay in my own house and ignore the world outside. That's not going to go either. Okay, let me get back to the chat. It's almost time. Oh, it's overtime. I'm so sorry, guys. I've been chatty Cathy. I was on a roll. Do. Yeah, and I love talking politics, Ben, but I'm all over. Karen says, absolutely. I feel my energy being sucked. I can't stay. If it happens again on the same channel, I will unsubscribe and walk away. Yeah. Hey, Susie, welcome. Nice to see you. Ben, and cussing dogs from New York. Hey, hey, hey. When they bark, right now they're really quiet and they know it's WALK time. So, it's all over. So yeah, manipulation is all over social media, and it's our desire for community. It's our desire to feel connected, and we want to be influenced. I don't want to be influenced anymore. I really want truth. It's what I feel like my life is filled with so much that I want truth. And if I want truth, I have to speak truth. And not everyone likes truth because it makes that person have to look in the mirror. And that applies to me. I have to look in the mirror. Yeah, mob mentality, Karen. Absolutely. You crazy kids. Like everything, take what works and leave the rest with, yeah. Fans only. What the heck is that? Really? Are you being serious, Carmel? So if you're being serious, fans only, you can subscribe to a channel. I don't know if it's YouTube. I think it's Instagram. And you pay to subscribe and you can do sexy things. So yes, fans only pages. It's not my kind of thing, but it's apparently very popular with young people and they can make a little fortune. And it's legal. So I don't know, because you're not putting it out in the universe. You have to pay to be a subscriber. And I really don't know how it works, but that's what fans only is. Yeah. So anyway, just a reminder, I'll be going once a week for the next 30 days until the family situation gets remedied, because I'll be dog sitting the 3 golden retrievers with my 2 little Shih Tzus. Oh, me and 5 dogs. God help us all. And so it'll be Tuesdays. Yeah, I'm not into that kind of thing either, Carmel. So, sheesh. But there's some famous people on it. Shih Tzus? Shih Tzus. Oh, Shih Tzus. Yes, I have Shih Tzu puppies. Ben. So starting Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, I'll only be going to live Tuesdays with one exception, and I'll send that out when I know. I'll be back to my regularly scheduled twice a week in July. Yeah. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Saturday's going to be a good day. I'm going to go and do something fun for myself. We'll see. Definitely be with the puppies, my Shih Tzus, Shih Tzus, um, and I'm sure there'll be a strawberry shortcake somewhere in there, just a little piece. Um, and I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you for participating. I want you to, to say thank you for showing up. Um, the community is important to me. I know I'm not going to make, no, I'm going to reverse that. My purpose wasn't to make money doing this. I'm thrilled that I have however many subscribers I have. I'm thrilled that people show up every single week. I feel hugely blessed. So I want to express my gratitude to you for that. And I want to celebrate you for that. So thank you so much. Um, uh, oh my God. Oh, okay. Will they cuss and work like crazy more? Probably. Um, but I love you guys truly from the bottom of my heart. I send you with so much love, with light, with healing, with compassion, with joy, sprinkled with a lot of laughter and giggles. Until Tuesday, for those of you that celebrate Memorial Day, enjoy. Thank you for your service for anyone that is or has been a service member. Um, and yeah, until we meet again. Blessings. Love you guys. Thank you for being here.